Hello all. So in this lecture we will start with matplotlib. So matplotlib is a package, is a desktop plotting package to for creating quality plots. So if you want to visualize the data, you need to represent it graphically. So graphical representation of data, you need to plot it in some figures and all. For that we have a package in Python. It is matplotlib. So it was started in the year 2000 to build the functions that are used in MATLAB. So we had I think you people know about MATLAB software. So in order to MATLAB is actually a data visualization, everything is possible. So to bring those similar functions in Python, uh, they have created a new package for all these operations. It is known as matplotlib. So it's mainly for data visualization. So this is the first part of this matplotlib. So in this lecture, we will see some basic plots and how to label, how to generate legends. All these things will be dealt in this lecture. So in order to do this matplotlib, you have to import the package matplotlib. For plotting, we have pyplot, and we use an alias for that, so that we need not to use the full name matplotlib pyplot always. We can simply use plt always. So we have imported this. Now I am going to import the numpy also, numpy as n. Okay. Now I am going to create some data. I am going to create an array in p dot. We have already seen this arrange function. So I am creating an array. Now if you print this, you can see that these elements are present in this. Now if I want to plot this, so we have to use plt. So we have already imported this matplotlib.pyplot. Now plt dot, we have a function dot plot, and inside that we have to mention the parameter. So we have to plot the data. So we need to plot this thing. So if you do this, we can see a line, we can see a figure, and all those values are plotted. So it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 are plot here. So in this way we can plot data and visualize. So if you are using Jupyter Notebook, you need not use any other function. But if you are if you are coding in IPython and if you are running this code, then you need to use another one more function to show that thing. So plot.show will be needed if you are using some other thing. So if you are using Jupyter Notebook, you need not use this plot.show. When you run this cell itself, you can show the image. Okay. Now if I want to plot another data1 equal to, let it be some random numbers. Let it be some random numbers. Okay. Let it be some random numbers. Dot random, and I am giving some values, 10 values. So I'll print this data1. So these are the values that are printed. Okay. Now if I want to plot this one, you can plot, if I want to plot data and data1 together, so you can plot it using the same function. So what you have to do, data comma data1. Now if you run this program, you can see this. Now both have been done. So first data will be in the x-axis, and data1 will be in the y-axis. So data1 is 1. So corresponding to 1, you have some value. So it is 0.63361. So it is plotted here like that. Then it is joined by, all the points are joined by lines. So it is a default representation. So all the points will be joined by lines. Okay. Now if you want to include a title, for this thing, So what you have to do is you have to include a title. So when you are using this Jupyter notebook, you have to type all those things in a single cell. If you type it separate cells, what happens is each time when you run the cell, it will be reset. So you won't get the previous data. So if you want to plot all those things related to that figure should be inside a single shell. So if I want to include a title for that image, then you can do use the function plot.title and you can give some name. Okay, so you can give any name, sample plot. I am giving a name sample plot. Now if you run this program, you can see that the name is appearing above this. Sample plot is there. Now if we want to include some other thing, like if you want to include an X label, if you want to label this X axis and Y axis, for that you can use plot.xlabel and you can give any name for that. Here I am giving X values, and similarly for Y also I need to give some name, then you can use some other name, Y values. You can give any name, and if you run this you can see that you will get the names here. Okay, so the X axis and Y axis will be printed here. So X values and Y values will be printed here. So in this way you can use this. So title, then X label and Y label. Okay. Now, if you want to plot some other data, so I am going to bring a new data. I want to create a new data, np.random.random of 10. Now it will be another set of random numbers. Now if I want to plot this plot of data comma, I am using the first data itself 0 1 2 9, then I am using data 2 for that. Now if you plot this, you will get another figure. So if you want to compare these two figures, then it is better to plot it in a single graph itself. So that's also possible. For that what you have to do is you have to copy everything in a single thing. Okay. Now I have brought everything in a single figure. Now if you plot, so I have plot data 1 and also I have plot data 2 also. So I'll bring it down so that it will be easier to understand. There is nothing, wherever we want, you can do this thing, it's not a problem. Now I have plotted both the graphs in a single figure itself. So I have plotted both sample plot, X values, everything, and data comma data 1 and data comma data 2. Now we do not know which line is data 1 and which line is data 2. So for that we can use legend. So one way to use this, we can use this legend. So what you have to do is, inside this thing you have to use inside square brackets, you have to give, so let it be, I want to name the first data as test1 figure and the second one as test2 figure. Okay, so any name you can give. I am just giving test1 and test2. Okay, so I am using test1 and test2. So what you have to do is you have to give legend. So if you want to give some name to each line, now you don't know which line it is, so for that you can use like this. So if you give like this, now they are colored, so this color belongs to test1 and this color belongs to test2. No, it is not a good method. You can use another method also. So if there are many number of plots in a single graph, if it is 2, it is easy to identify, but it will be difficult when you have many different data and you want to plot different lines in a single graph. So what the better way is to, you can include as another parameter to the plot itself, and you can give any name, test1, and if you want to give a name for, if you want to label this thing, you can give label equal to test2, and now you can simply avoid this thing. Now you can simply remove this thing and you can simply call this plot.legend function, and if you run this program you will get the same effect. So it is better. So in order to plot and in order to include a name for each plot, you can simply use this label like this. You can use this label equal to test1 and label equal to test2. So in this way you can label the graphs also. So you have plotted some figures and you have labeled it also. Now in some cases you may have to use some, this is a default marking. Now if you want to include some other different color for this graph, or if you want some different, this is a line graph, if you want a dotted line graph, it is also possible. So you can check this matplotlib. So there are different markers. So these are the different format strings are there. You can include marker, line, color, everything can be changed. So these are the different markers. If you want to plot each point, you can use this dot. If you want to mark it as a comma, if you want to mark it or each point as a circle, it is all possible. So all these are the marker characters, and for line styles also it is possible. So this is a default dashed line is a simple line is a solid line is a default thing, and if you want dash line it is possible. You have to use double dash, or dash dot line is possible. Then for colors also you can have different type colors. You can include, if it is blue you can make it blue, if it is green you can green, red, any colors and any combination. You can simply include any hexa string also. So different colors you will get. What you have to do is you have to use hash that string. So I will show some example how to include this plot and all. Now, so we have seen this thing. So I will copy all this thing again. So if I want to include, I will use in the same here. Now if I want to change the color, so what you have to do is, if you want to make it as a different color, so as the third parameter what you have to do is, if you want the first plot to be in blue, you have to give blue, and if you want this as a dotted line, this is the way you can do, and you have to give this as the fourth parameter. So this means the plot should be, B means blue color, and the next format I have given is dash dash. Dash dash means it's line. Then if you want to mark the points also, that is also possible. If you want to mark it as circles, then you have to make it O. So it is not a good practice to do like this. So let it be like this now. So I am including only two formats. One is for color and the other for representation. Now if you run this program, you can see that this is a blue line and it is now a dashed line. Now if you want to make it a different thing, if you want this to be in color red, so I am just making it is colored R. I am not giving any other formats. I want to just make it as red color. So that is also possible. So you can include additional formats for each graph. And another way is that to make everything. Well, if you want to include all the styles, it is possible. So what you have to do is, you have to simply include color equal to, and for blue you have to use B. Okay. Then you can delete all these things. Then if you want to mention the line style equal to, so you can mention as dash lines. Then here also you can make like this color. So this way also you can include color equal to red, or any other color if you want. Line style equal to like this, you can mention like this also. Then also you will get the same output. Okay, so you can either include it in a string, or you can mention like this, color equal to, or line style equal to. Now if you want to mark each points, now if I want to mark this point, it is also possible. Then what you have to do is, you have to include as another parameter marker equal to. Now there are different markers. So if you see the documentation, you can see different markers. So you can use any markers So here I am using a circle marker. If I give O as a marker, that means it will be circles. Now if I run this program, you can see that it is all dotted lines. So it is all marked, all the points are marked in circles. Now if you want to mark this using another dotted lines, it is possible. Marker equal to, what you have to do is, you have to include just a simple full stop is enough. And if you run this program, just a minute, I have to include one comma, okay. So all the points will be marked like this. Now if you want to increase the line width, so that is also possible. So what you have to do is, you have to include it as another parameter, line width. Line width equal to, if you want to increase the line width of this red line, so if you want to increase it as 3, so you can simply run this, you can see that the width has been increased. So everything is possible. So inside this plot you can include color, if you want the line style, what should be the line style, markers, if you want to mark like this points and all, it is also possible. Then if you want line width, everything is possible. You can check this document for different markers. You need not learn all these markers and all. Whenever you want, you can check the documentation. The documentation is available, and you can use different types of documentation like this. There are different styles. Line styles also we have, dash and dot line is also there. So if you want, you can check this dash and dot line. So I'll copy this thing. So I'll copy this here. So if you want to make it a dot and dash, you can simply make this like this. Sorry. Line width, line style. So you have to remove this. Just a minute. Now I have included this line width, so I have to remove that line width because it is default line width will come. Now it is dot and so I have to make it dot and line. So I will make it like this. Oh, so it is not possible when you are including this marker as dot. So I'll remove that marker also. Okay. Okay, let me check this. Dot slash. Oh, I have changed this thing. Okay. It should be dash and dot. So you can see that you will get a dash dot line. Dash dot line you will get. So you have to make it. So you can refer this documentation. You can include any color graph. Anything is possible. Magenta, yellow, any color. Okay, black, any color is possible. And also, if you want to change to a different color, so what you have to use is, if you want to make it any another new color other than this blue, green and all, what you have to do is, you have to make so you have to include some hexadecimal values here. So I am making AB343, it's some hexadecimal value. Now if you run this, let me check. Okay, so you'll get another color. So this is another color. So you can make any color. So what you have to do is, that color will be limited maybe. Okay. Okay. So this is another light color you will get, some other color. So you can create like this, any new colors, anything can be, it is possible. So you have to include any hexadecimal value, you will get some other color. So you can make any other color like this. So it is also possible to have all these colors. Then if you want to plot grid, so it is better if you plot some grid over this graph. For that you have to, what you have to do is plot of grid, plot dot grid. Now if you run this again, you can see that there will be grid lines. So all the over everything there will be grid lines and all. So it will be easier to compare these values now. So for that we can use, then you can include this true also. In certain case you may have to include this true. So you can compare this all these things. For that you can include this grid lines. So this is possible. Now if you want to save this figure, now we are just showing this figure. Now if you want to save this figure, what you have to do is you can save this also. For that, plot dot save fig. There is a function save fig, and you can give any name for that. Let it be sample plot, sample.png. So PNG file, I have saved it as a PNG file. Now if I run this program, it will be plotted, and if you check the file, you will get the sample PNG here. Now you can open it anywhere else. So this is saved now. So this file can be saved. So this will be saved in that folder. Okay, so in this way you can do this. So these are the things that we have learned, how to plot. So you have to use this plot function, then how to include title, xlabel, ylabel, and inside plot you can have different formats. So for color, line style, marker, everything it is possible, and also you can include this table. Then you have seen what is this legend. So in order to show this, you have to use this legend and also grid, and how to save figure, everything you have learned. Okay, so in this way you can plot all these things. So we have seen how to see plot basic plots. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.